What is up, everybody? We are back. Ryan, Mia, and myself. As part of running, one of the things we have to have is endurance in the actual spinal tissue to help maintain that position so that you could transfer force. We have found doing this work for myself and for Ryan has been very beneficial. So we're gonna let you in on how we do a day like that. So Ryan, start off with that full extension of the spine and then slowly start to exhale your way through, tilting your spine segment by segment, finding full flexion, and then going in reverse. Good sweat, that's what we wanted. God damn. A good warm up. You got a couple layers on, I like it. I would have brought my shirtless hoodie too if I knew you were rocking that. All right, let's go from here. Let's go to a standing position. Looking like a Jedi actually helps you with your spine. The key with this is also being able to separate your hips from your lumbar, from your thoracic. And what we want to get is just tons of range of motion through the spine, not having any motion through the hips. Good, segment back up when you get there. Get more extension through the upper thoracic. Yes, yes, yes. Use the ribs to rotate. Keep the belt buckle forward, circle around. So one of the things we want to work on is getting more of that extension in the lumbar, okay? Because you're going to be running a lot. Obviously, we're going to do a run together on Saturday, 12, 15 miles. So we're going to be running for a couple hours. So one of the things we want to get is more endurance in that tissue. Yep. So we'll kind of prime that, right? We'll go actually into a prone position. Now, everybody's going to be a little bit different, but I want you to think about putting yourself in the best position to feel your lumbar or your lower back contract. And then if I was there, try to push my fingers out by contracting the tissue right here. You feel that?
Not as aware.
Not as aware, okay. So we're going to be here for about a minute, all right? And just try to contract that and do your best to evenly contract it. I've also kind of noticed that like I'll take my tailbone and try to tilt it up. And you almost want to treat it like a bicep curl with your lumbar, with your lower back. Even think about trying to drag your elbows towards your body a little bit. That might get a little more upper back, but it does give you more radiation to play with. About 20 seconds left. And then slowly disengage. Partial cat-cow position. So we can think about going hands deep, head on top of the ground. Okay. And then block motion from here and just work on tilting that lumbar. So we got flexion, and then we have extension. Good. Now try to give me more extension on this next rep. More, more, more. Less from here, a little bit more. Yeah, right? They're struggling there, that's okay. That's why we're here, we're gonna learn. Pull up, get good flexion. So it's like you're trying to pull an anchor back into the boat, link by link. And then same thing, tilt your tailbone out. Good. And then reverse. So we primed a little bit with going into a shortened position. All right, now let's hit a little bit of length, right? Because we know you can use a little bit more lumbar flexion as well. So you'll be in this position here. Okay, we've done this before where we use the strap. It's a non-elastic strap, by the way, which we love. And I want you to set up in a position where you're going to find that spinal flexion, okay? Once you feel that stretch in the lumbar, and it may take a little bit of practice where you have to let go of the upper spine a little bit so you can get more of that lumbar. Once you find that stretch, and you're there for just a little bit, start our pails and rails, okay? So pails is going to be trying to tilt my pelvis out, even though I can't. Rails is trying to further posterior tilt the pelvis up. Cool? See it. And while you do that, I'm going to do it a slightly different variation, which is going to be more kind of like a deadlift.
Do you ever try to like drop your tailbone off the back of the bench?
No. Does it give you anything?
Yeah, you give them a little bit more length. I mean, at least for me, somebody who's not as...
So you try to sit beyond
almost like drop the ass off the back of the bench.
Yeah. That's great. See, Ryan always shows me some shit too. Yeah, so if your tailbone's off, you feel like you can actually go beyond the bench, like almost like at a deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just the lack of, or the bench not blocking my hip and flexion.
So I'm doing the same thing, except I'll be doing it from just a deadlift variation. It's like I'm gonna do like the world's worst deadlift, right? With a curved spine. Try to get a stretch from here, anchor myself in. Brian, before you pails or do an isometric, try to breathe into your lumbar. Just to get that stretch. Then start your isometrics. Push through. Like you're trying to rip the strap up and then reverse rails. Like you're trying to crunch further into that position. Good job. Good?
Yeah.
All right, so what essentially we're gonna try to do here, I'm gonna give you a little bit more tension. The band's gonna be around the waist. We'll start in flexion. When you're ready, all you're gonna do is let that band win and try to catch it into extension. So it's gonna look like this. What we wanna do though is we wanna try to build stiffness. So yes, your spine has to be able to have that endurance, but you also have to have that stiffness to absorb force. Because sometimes you pop into extension. And a lot of times when people get back pain is that they don't have the prerequisite stiffness to deal with a quick sudden movement.
Yeah,
right?
Quick twitch,
Like more of a quick twitch. So go ahead and load yourself into that.
Do you want it like further up into the?
Yeah, I want to kind of like.
Yes, that way it pulls more.
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be probably like a little bit more down here-ish. Now, just like we've been working with our dynamic efforts, you want to really get into that, exactly that relaxed state. Perfect. Look here and like let go of the arrow. Better. Do you feel that kind of hyper extension state at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to catch it though is hard.
Yeah. So you almost have to like try to jam yourself into extension and then hit the brakes at the last second. Fraction of a second. Better. One more. Beautiful. You want to go with that bad boy? All right, let's do it. He wants to bring out the bag. It's 100-pounder. Try to feel all that work we've done at length, right? Especially here as you go into flexion. Good. Nice. Feel some of that shortened stuff. Go back into length. Rotate, keep those hips forward. Now pull with that lumbar. Yes. Drive your chest into that bag so you get more extension. Beautiful. How was that?
Oh, motherfucker.
So this time I put that band under one more bar to give you a little bit more tension.
Okay.
And so this will be our last set for that. There you go. Yes.
You have a block?
Yeah. You feel like if you have a little more stability between your knees, you can funnel it in your back?
Yeah, if I could drive my heel better through the ground.
Yep.
My legs.
I don't know if you can pick up, guys, the pops I'm hearing, but he's getting some like deep lumbar or deep adductor pops.
That's lumbar.
Flexion. You've been holding that since college. It's a shame because it's not a huge movement, so you don't feel like you get a lot of time to ramp up and build speed.
Yeah.
Right? But it's still tissue specific to what we want.
Yeah.
Right? There have definitely been times like you're running on like the trail or something and like you overstep and then you realize you're not going to make it. This is subconsciously.
Like drop down.
Yeah. Or you extend a little bit with that spine.
I've had that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just, again, training that quality that we want. Right. So speed work, dynamic effort work, it doesn't just have to be for patterns. It can also be for the joints, for the tissues that we want. You want one more bad boy?
Yeah.
More. Yeah. Good, use this stuff here, right? Great job with the hips. Finish strong. Nice. We want to try to train your back extension stuff to failure, muscular failure, okay? So that's gonna involve a lot of time under tension. Main goal is to focus on using that lumbar. So I can actually assist myself a little bit with my hands and feel that contraction, like I'm isometrically holding that. Then we could go work into some partial reps, right? Even though I'm going down, I still want to keep the tension. I'm not just sloppily going down. I may even want to rotate a little bit to bias one side versus the other. So I'm basically trying to search and load all of that stuff into the lumbar. As I start to fatigue, I can work this zone, and we can also play around with the spine motion itself. How's that? The setup's okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So again, we're gonna fatigue anywhere in that 60 to 90 second. Just want you to really prime yourself so you get a good second set, which will take to failure. So Ryan's been working with me for a long time, so he's really good at exploring the sets and the positions, right? So he knows that for himself that he may favor more the left side, or he needs more work on the left side, so he'll bias that. So this is one of the cool things is when you have somebody who's been working this type of training for a long enough time, they know how to train themselves too. So we can set up a situation, I have the intention, and Ryan will take his own path to get there. And we've noticed too, as soon as we started putting more endurance type inputs, muscle inputs into his lumbar, it really started to clear away a lot of his back problems, particularly with running long distances, but also just during the day. Because what happens is a lot of times when people get back issues, they start to almost fear movement, and it changes the actual tissue property of the lumbar. And then it becomes more of from an endurance type muscle to more of a fast twitch. I should say the multifidi, not the lumbar itself. How's that?
Good.
Yeah. So if him and I were both to do the set simultaneously, our sets would look completely different, even if we did it for the same amount of time, because I have different anatomy than he does. So if you're trying this at home or trying to think about how to apply it, the other thing to think about is once you know the principles, you can apply it to your own experience. So even though you see him going down, maybe a little bit of quickness, he hasn't lost tension. He's constantly trying to pump that muscle, in this case his multifidi and the stuff associated, so that he can get more fatigue in there.
Yeah, this one will make you feel like you got punched by Mike Tyson.
In the back.
You're right in I don't know, what is this, your kidney back here?
Yeah. Got some kidney. The other thing is people also, when they get back pain, they associate anything that they feel in their back as bad. So then they never train their back. So then their back gets even shittier. It atrophies. It's it's in a cast, right? Your back's just like any other piece of your body, right? You can train it, your lumbar spine, wherever you're trying to train. If you want to, you can feel a pump there. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
People always complain about hurting their back deadlifting. Honestly, the greatest thing you can do is just get into the deadlift position and just train it isometrically first.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
We worked a lot on those when we were getting you back from the back pain. Okay, so we're going to hit this next set. Okay. I want you to try to fatigue or fail within that 75 to 90 second. You don't have to be married to that, but we want to keep it more of a slow twitch effort. Okay, fast twitch would be maybe under 60 seconds. Slow twitch is going to be roughly over 75 seconds. I got a weight here. You can feel free to use it. Drop set it as much as you want.
What's this bad boy weigh?
53. So hey, if you get 3 reps and realize that you're not getting a good connection, that's fine. If you get 10, that's great.
This is good.
Come on. I got you, buddy. Good. Give you a little more assistance. Good. Hold it. Just hold it if you can. Put it there. Put it there. That's it. Come on. 90 seconds. Beautiful.
Ooh. Should have done one longer.
Should have been a lot longer. No way.
I should have done one longer.
You should have been longer, you think? You think you had a little more?
Yeah, 1 second.
It is hard to go to true failure, right? Because everything in your body is preventing that.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Your nervous system, the muscles itself.
Yeah.
All the physiological responses. So it helps to have a person that can just kind of get those forced reps.
Yeah.
I think we're good on that one.
Yeah.
The idea here is that I also want you to train that front stuff, even though we've been training most of the back stuff today. So same thing with this is let's just train it to fatigue. Keep those knees locked out. One of the most common things I see is that people will turn this in just exclusively to a hip flexor drill. Not that there's anything wrong with training the hip flexors, but if your intent is to kind of train more abdominal stuff, you have to actually work on curling the spine and uncurling the spine. And you can do a little bit of sit-ups, that's fine, but it's the flexion, like a fruit roll-up. So see how he's going through extension? And then he's actually gonna try and curl himself up. See the shirt wrinkles? That's how we haven't even got much hip flexion yet. And he's great because we've been working this so long that we try to stop him before he gets to too much hip flexion so we can keep tension on the abs. The other thing to think about is If you lack segmentation in your lumbar, what that also means is you can't train certain parts of your abdominal wall, right? You only train where you can move. So that's why for us, we spend a lot of time getting Ryan to move as much as he can independently between the segments so that this training becomes even more effective. Spend a little bit of time at length towards the end of this set, rather than just going to fatigue. Even reach with your upper arms a little bit just to get that full stretch. Love it.
Feels like a gremlin's coming out.
Performing like an exorcism on your spine. Awesome.
Doing that full length
Yeah.
and that extension after the extension.
Yeah.
Oh,
Feels good, right?
yeah.
So what the band's gonna do is obviously just give him more resistance. The thing about the band is, well, he'll get a little bit less resistance when he's in the lengthened part, but that's all right, he'll still get some. He's gonna put one around this side. Yeah, you got it, exactly. Good, you started right in the minute, so you just do your thing. Search and load. Remember that Pales rail setup we did earlier where we're trying to get more spinal flexion? Good, try to find that there. So it's so important, like everything you do in your session should connect to everything else, right? So because we took the time to actually work the spine segment by segment, later on in the session, like now, we can call back to that sensation, right? Good, Ryan. Keep working it. Great job, keep it out of the hip flexors. Keep working it. Nice. Try a little rotation there, see how that feels. Yeah, right? Keep crushing, Ron, keep crushing. Do little arms overhead to get that super stretch and still try to come up. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna give you a little force rep. I'll give you a little force rep. Parachute down. Get extension through here. Yeah, put that whole thing on stretch. Hang out there if you want. It's your experience. Jesus, I didn't know you could do a back bend. Look at that thing. Man, how was that? Effective?
Yeah, very. That was burning like hell.
So go ahead and put that back squat position here. And the thing is, because you're on a long lever, you don't really need a lot, right? Because the band, the lever is so long, it's at the end of this, it's gonna add more tension anyway. So his hips are locked in. He's using tension or radiation to do that. Now, he's just going to rotate through, which will get a stretch kind of more on the back, and then he's gonna rotate back the other way. Squeeze. This is more for spinal health for him, just getting, again, more of that rotation. Can you get a little further this way? Yeah, that way you can work this stuff shortened. Good, Ryan. Lock those hips in, rotate around, excellent. You get a couple more reps as much as you need to feel effective. Try to bend the bar around your neck just for extra radiation. And then imagine what is going on in your spine, right? Try to get those ribs to rotate around that center column. Doing a great job locking the hips in. Keep rocking, the last one. Do a couple partials here. Yeah, so try to get that back pump. Good. Good, turn the hips the other way, yep. Turn this way, good. Keep going, 3, 2, hold, parachute away. How's that?
I was getting tired at the end,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
No, that's good.
I didn't want to say it out loud. Can't let people see the weakness on the
Yeah,
internet.
no, that's right. Did you feel like you're able to integrate all the stuff we did towards those back pulses as well?
Yeah, like kind of when you were standing there trying to get the partials,
Yeah.
I think I like finally got the feeling of what it felt like to try and keep the hips a little bit more forward
Right.
instead of rolling into them and kind of rotating to that side.
If it helps, I like to sometimes think of, like I think I used this analogy last time, but think of your lower body like a jar and your spine is like the jar top.
Yeah.
Like you got to move it independently. It's easier said than done, as long as you're always keeping that in mind. And like we've talked about too, is like if you counter twist away from the direction you're going, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna isolate the spine even more. Okay, last set, best set. And this is nice too, it gives you a little bit of stretch on that back part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
QL.
So Ryan is a black belt in irradiation, right? One of the things that he's doing is he's generating a lot of tension through his legs because he's squeezing the hell out of his legs, and then he's taking all of that and transmitting it through his spine, through the moving part, which also makes our training so much more effective once you know how to irradiate, how to actually generate tension, because then you're asking more of the nervous system. which means you're making the exercise more demanding. The signal is going to be stronger for biological change. So that's what I talk about with the jar. Exactly. Good adjustment there. Rotate through the ribs. Good. Let's go off script a little bit. So this time, go ahead and rotate out. Yeah, rotate towards me. Yeah. As much as you can. Okay. Now, give me a big inhale and try to push your ribs out. Open up. Do it again. Push the ribs out. More. Yeah, dude. Here we go. Last one. As you go ribs out, expand the bar up like you're, yes. Good. And then just give me some of those partial ranges now. Pump it. Good. This stuff. Fatigue this stuff. Yes. Couple more. Done. One thing about Ryan, you never say done to him. I put this sign out here for people like Ryan. We got a big run on Saturday.
Sir.
So that's 3 days from now. So, I mean, you know what to do, but I'll just kind of say anyway, like, if you got any energy, do a little bit of spine rotation tonight. Definitely kind of save the work for tomorrow.
Yep.
And then hopefully we'll feel good in a couple of days, and we'll go for those 13, 15 miles, whatever we do.
Yeah, man.
Dude, great job today, man.
Thank you.
Great output.
Good stuff.
Hope you liked it. If you have any questions, drop the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. That's the cool down. Hind legs. Hind legs, be the hind leg.